I wanted to talk to you this week actually about a few things. Not about your behaviour on the episode with Elva, because
thank God. Nice.
yeah, good. Do you know what I've been thinking about a lot lately? Mortality and the passage of time. And I don't know. Hang on, hear me out. I don't know whether this is coming from. I'm just coincidentally looking at every interview I see with any 30-year-old actor at the moment who keeps talking about mortality. But Norman Reedus and John, I can't say it's John Berthnell.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the whole John Berthnell.
Sure.
He always goes, let me tell you something. Yeah. That was an impression. And before we get on to me quitting impressions for the second time, I do ever get this, and I don't know whether it's to do with depression. I don't know whether it's just me getting really existential, but I've just been like obsessively thinking lately about my mortality. And some people think that's accepting and lovely, but I'm just thinking of the sort of...
It depends on in what way. It could be accepted and lovely, like understanding that, life is precious, or is it you just come back from a blood test and you're fucking dying?
All right, I did come back from a blood test earlier on.
An hour ago.
About an hour ago.
Right.
And just no. Apparently, I have very low testosterone, which might be the reason I keep having these existential thoughts.
Why you wearing your hands gloves?
I've always been a bit androgynous, I guess.
Yeah, true.
How can I be an androgynous male? Is that even
With no testosterone.
that might have been the stupidest thing I ever said. I've always been a bit. I've rode the fine line of being feminine
Yeah.
and masculine.
Yeah. Makeup and the fake tan and all that.
I don't wear fake tan or makeup. No.
No.
But anyway, just to get you back on track so that you feel really, really sad as you sip into that can of Stella and really think about this. It was Norman Reedus. He was like, oh, I'm just so... I realise how quick time flies by, and I realise that I perhaps haven't got long left, so I really want to just enjoy the moment. I used to have that frame of mind. I'd be like, is this heavy for you? It's fucking heavy.
No, you're speaking my language, yeah. Good.
And I'm just like, why have I got existential over the last 4 or 5 months? I used to just be like, I do not care. If I died today, I would never be that person who's like, if I died today, would I regret anything? Probably not. And I wouldn't know because I'd be dead.
Yes.
But I'm just sort of, I used to be, if I died tomorrow, I'll be whatever. Now I'm like, oh God, I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
What has anything changed in your life to make that?
My testosterone levels.
So a chemical change.
I honestly,
Behavioral change.
I feel like I'm at therapy with you. I'm genuinely like, how many people have these thoughts? Is it do men mostly have these thoughts? Do women? I don't really hear about women talking about their mortality. So.
No, that's a very good point actually. But just speaking from my point of view, my very masculine point of view, I've never really thought like, oh God, that my time here is running out. I don't think of my mortality. I think of other people's mortality. Because like you said, if I go today, I won't notice. But then it's how it affects me, family. All I keep thinking about is, my dog's going to die soon. But that affects me more than my mum and dad, bless them, I love them. But yeah, I'm like, how do I handle my dog maybe passing away? I never think of, it would be sad though if I passed away and he was the only one who missed me. He'd miss me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd lie on your grave. There's lots of videos of dogs doing that.
That'd be great. We've done a lot of salt there. Let's move past that. But no, it's interesting that something must have triggered you to question that. That maybe makes me feel like you've got more to live for, or there's more that you've got in your
That's lovely, actually, mate. That's lovely. No, I don't. I definitely don't. The doctor definitely asked me this today because I felt like I sort of dumped that on him.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, how's your bowel movements? Have you ever thought about dying, doc?" And he was like, "Well, I deal with death all the time."
Yeah.
No, I don't know having like intrusive thoughts or anything sort of dark. I think you're right in what you're saying. I think I've become so grateful for life nowadays for the first time in probably like 10 years that I'm like, I have a lovely girlfriend who eat, sleep and breathe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you generally do. Like, I get that. That's
yeah.
true, yeah.
And don't get too jealous though. And I think I've just become grateful. I'm obviously more productive now, doing a lot more things, and I'm like, oh, I've got a thirst and a zest for life. And then I've suddenly started going a bit Stephen Fry. Not that he's as intelligent as I am,
No.
or as eloquent,
Successful.
or as successful, or as heterosexual as me.
Apparently, he said this is something I find quite interesting. Well, a bit of a segue into that he's asexual, which means he must just be able to be trapped in a room and just read Harry Potter over and over again, which I love.
There was a lot to unpack then.
It was that, yeah. Sorry.
There's a lot. You're talking about his sexuality, and then you went into. There's a lot to unpack.
Well, that's why I'm here. You know, I can take us on these journeys.
Didn't he, when he was recording that voiceover, didn't he ring J.K. Rowling up because he was supposed to say the line Harry pocketed it.
Yeah, and he couldn't say it.
And Harry pocketed it, and he was like, "Oh, can we just not remove this?" And she was like, "Fuck off."
Yeah, he did a little interview with her where he knew he was the right person for the role because he said Hagrid, he's definitely from the West Country, and she was like, "Absolutely, he is." Yeah, apparently that was an audition. So. That was it. I mean, hello, Hermione. That was all right.
Wait, Stephen Fry played Robert.
When he did Hagrid's voice for the audiobook.
Did the audiobook come before the films?
The first couple did, yeah.
Yeah. And they were done by Stephen Fry.
Stephen Fry's done all of them.
But he did Hagrid.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Blimey, Hagrid, you got a big cock.
Saying that to himself.
Blimey, Hagrid, you got a big cock. Oh no, bloody hell. I thought that was wrong. Not the fact that it's a groundskeeper telling a student that they've got a big
and he's
penis.
A giant as well. Yeah.
He is a giant.
Yeah.
Can you imagine him like thrusting down on you?
Well, his mum was a giant and his dad was a normal bloke. That's why Hagrid is only a half giant. But how's a normal bloke with a giant woman?
I guess the same way that dachshunds breed with German shepherds, maybe.
It's insightful, that.
It just happens. Just happens.
Lots to unpack there.
I,
So you're thinking of dying?
I'm thinking of dying. I don't. Yeah, no. I think you made a really lovely point earlier on when you said oh, maybe you sort of come into the realization that you're more happier in life
to live for. Yeah, there's something giving you that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever felt like I have felt like I wanted to die once. That was in my early 20s, but I got over that really quick. Yeah, I know. By the way, yeah, no, but not to devalidate anyone who's had intrusive thoughts, because there's nothing worse than having intrusive thoughts. But and not to be like get over that quick, because some people you can get over it eventually, but some people really struggle to. So I'm not taking that away from people.
And we're in absolutely no capacity to ever give advice.
Absolutely not.
We're just talking about our personal experiences.
Absolutely not.
No.
On to a slightly less depressing note, but might be depressing for other people. Am I really quitting impressions?
The real question now we're asking.
As someone said in the comments the other day, they said, "Are you really quitting impressions? You're so good at them. You're really good at them, and you're so." I can't get over how handsome you are when you deliver these impressions, and I think you're so exceedingly talented, and just so. And then he started saying like sort of irrelevant stuff, like, "God, you smell so good through the screen."
We've seen it all done before. You're a one-trick pony.
No, that was that was a comment on Instagram that you got tagged in. It wasn't that. This was on my YouTube channel in my name. Oh, you're so good at impressions. Why are you quitting? And I wanted to talk about it in a way that wasn't so facetious, which will unfortunately end up being facetious because is this podcast real? Is this a podcast? Is it a massive skit or a sketch? We'll get onto that in a minute. Just look really shocked a minute. Yeah. Am I quitting impressions? I think, to be frank, no. But it's hard to say. I don't know. It's better you word it for me, mate, because I've had so many. How many conversations have I had with you over the last year and a half where I've been like, I don't. It's not that I hate doing impressions. I think I should say I hate that. That's all I'm relied on for. Or I've pigeonholed myself as that. And I had a lovely message actually on the way over here from a friend of mine, Callum. And he was watching the hypochondriac skit that we filmed the other day, and he was like, "I gotta say, this is hilarious. I'm loving the fact that you're moving away." So I'm shout out Callum. I think he's watched the podcast actually. Yeah, he must have. I'm assuming so. Yeah. But that was a lovely comment to make because it's someone going, "Oh, like, what the hell is this?" It's like, oh, they're appreciating.
That's why a point I wanted to bring up as well. at some point is about like, you know, that productivity guilt, which you talk about a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't see, which I do, fortunately, because, you know, we write together all the time, is your notebook is literally just filled with ideas. So every day you can ring me being that I've got this
Stuck
idea.
together.
Yeah, yeah, very hardly stuck together. Yeah, with a picture of me in it, weirdly.
Yeah.
But none of them are impressions based. Some of them are parody based. But it's not like, oh, Andy, I've got this script I'm going to do, and it's just going to be Gordon Ramsay doing an email. Oh.
Yeah, yeah, spot on. And I think it's also like I have to outsource it to someone I trust now, which is you. I can write something down on a piece of paper, and I've barely envisaged how I want it to look creatively.
Yeah.
And you look at it and go, oh yeah, I know how to make that look.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we've worked together for so long now, so it was nice when I was telling you that I don't just want to do impressions. You weren't going,
no, yeah, that's the cash cow.
Let's try and. Yeah. It's not that I'm quitting them. It will be like an every other week thing. Or if a Gordon Ramsay clip trends because he said something silly on TV, then that. But I was in the studio with your fucking young blood last night, old Dom, and I was and told you this actually. He was showing me some of his new songs, which are fucking incredible, like absolute stadium bangers that are scarily good. And I was just sat back on the sofa listening to them all, you know, going over their music, and they were all. The producer was there, Adam Warrington, the guitarist, was there, and obviously Dom's there, and he's just moving his hips to the music, and he's like, you can see he's closing his eyes, leaning his head back, and he's thinking, and then he taps Matty, his producer, on the shoulder, and he says something, and then he feeds back to Adam, and I'm like, it's just this absolute working machine now of going, I've got this idea. By the way, what can you do with this? And then it goes back to Adam, what can you do with this? And I was like, God, that's what I love now when I work with you. I'm like, I can go, I've got this great idea, but can you bring it to life for me? I can create the backbone of it, but I need you to, you know, put all the meat on the bones.
Yeah.
And even just watching them guys last night, I was like, God, like, no wonder they're so inspired. Like, how do these solo artists, like, you know, Lewis Capaldi, for example, no wonder he got, like I know he has his issues with Tourette's, bless him, but no wonder he got so bored of making music. How do you just sit in it? I haven't watched the documentary, but from what I know, the premise of it is there's a lot of him being sat in a studio and they're going, what are you going to do next? Because you wrote all these, you know, sad love songs. Maybe we do something else. And he's like,
some people who do that on their own, hats off to them.
I couldn't. Obviously, we've only really been working together like efficiently the last 2 weeks, and we've worked together over the years. Yeah. But like actually, habitually going, right, we're doing this on this day. We need to film this, and then we'll go away and we'll work on this. I could not think now of going back and not working with you now. I think I'd be absolutely useless, even from like a mental health perspective. I think I'd just be. I've written this idea. Put it down. ADHD takes over. Yeah, no, it's ADHD meets autism, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We balance each other out quite well.
I do notice. This might be it. This is full on ADHD. I've just my thought is it's fugazi. It doesn't exist.
So pipe them in.
It's flowing off into my panelones. That's his new tequila, by the way.
That was free advertising.
There's a couple of actors I know that are up and coming, friends of mine who've got into acting recently, or have always been actors, but they're starting to get a few like roles under their belt. And they change their entire persona with how they talk, based around people. Well, based around who they're hanging out with, and that's been around socially for fucking years, where people act a certain way. You know, they'll act cool in front of certain people, or they'll act posh in front of certain people. So there's actors that just they're brand new to acting, and they just change their sort of dialect and idiolect completely. So you see them sorry. This is the blood test stuff. You'll see them in like interviews now and or on radio, and I know them as people who are like, oh, but Schaefer, let's go for a pint and all, like talking really like proper old school Valleyite Welsh boy and girl, or whatever gender they choose. I'm not going to specify which one, because they might think this is about them. They might not even be Welsh. And then you see them in an interview then, and they're like, and they've done their first role, and they're like, how is it working with Michael Sheen? It was phenomenal. Michael Sheen, and they do this thing with their lips. They go,
Yeah, the underlip curl. That's it. They're trying to.
Michael Sheen loves classical music. He's gay. That was a Willem Dafoe reference. But they'll just do. I've noticed it recently, and I know that was an ADHD thought. Maybe we can get like a little lower third made here with those ADHD thoughts with Shafe
constantly.
Maybe we should just call this podcast ADHD or neurodivergent. Love thy neurodivergent neighbour.
What would our millions of fans call this podcast?
I don't think I'd be able to go through that amount of data, to be honest, mate. We'd be absolutely ramsacked. Last week we got 1,000. Well, it said on YouTube we got 1,000 views on the podcast, but I was speaking to someone on the inside who looks at all the data, numbers, algebra, Pythagoras theorem stuff. And the 1,000 views actually, there's a couple of O's missing.
Yeah,
there's quite a lot of O's missing, zeros.
Added some.
So we've actually got a glitch on our YouTube channel. It's not 1,000. I think it's more like 100 million. But yeah, have you noticed actors that do that, by the way?
Yes. No, I have.
What do you think about Diane Young?
Diane Young, is that like a new Native American actor?
What's that guy who played George Bush? Roth. He was in the old Iron Man. He played a villain. Sam Rockwell. Sam Roth from Friends. Sam Rockwell.
David Thwimmer.
David Thwimmer.
Flemmy Swanson.
David Thwimmer.
Yeah.
He did the voice of George Bush, and I watched an interview with him recently, and he was breaking down his characters. He did George Bush, and the problem with doing George Bush is you got to talk out the side of your mouth. And he said he had this twitch in his face from doing it for so long, and genuinely thought he was having a stroke. And I was like, that is me.
Oh, what? Like he almost like trapped the nerve, like.
It was like there's so many muscles in your face. I mean, I don't think your muscles would want to remember that face, but
when you play like Matthew McConaughey for that ITVX show,
yeah.
Did you ever find any of that when you were just in doing his character all day every day?
Yeah, I'd whistle. I actually did talk like him from the moment I got on set constantly. Like I could say I method acted.
I love that,
but not in the sense that I just go up to the crew and constantly talk to them and be like,
okay.
all right, and then I'd be like,
no, let's do that. Okay, so just got on set in the morning. I'm just like taking your name. Yeah, hi, how you doing? I'm a second AD. Over there, we're going to be shooting over there. And what's your name?
Schaefer Bates.
I thought you were going to do McConaughey method acting.
That's what he did say to me. And I said, don't do impressions anymore, mate. I said, I don't do impressions anymore. Okay. Don't fucking ask me again. How old are you? And he said, 48. I went, 48. And you're at your second AD. Yeah, he did laugh like that. And I looked him in the eye. I said, you are a cancer on this set. And I intend to remove you like a tumour. Don't ever ask me. Don't ever ask me to do Matthew McConaughey again.
If I ask you.
All right. It's time to buckle up. I'll take a latte with 2 brown sugars.
Did you apologise to him for calling him a cancer?
I never apologised to him.
As Matthew McConaughey,
he deserved everything he got on that. He got sacked on set that day. 4 kids, local AD from the Coventry area, family.
Killed himself. Rest in peace. That's libelous.
No, that was the director. He filmed it and went, do you know what?
I'd rather be dead.
He looked like the crew of the crew that filmed Star Wars: The Phantom Menace when they rapped. Have you seen that? When they rap and they all go, they rap, they look in their monitors like that. George Lucas is like, how does he even talk? Oh, it's Star Wars, and they, character.
How does he talk?
I don't know. I kind of went,
Star Wars.
How does he talk? It's like your characters.
He's got like jowls when he's talking about his crew.
Yeah, I mean, when Qui-Gon Jinn came on set, I don't even know how he talks.
Do Jar Jar.
Misa Jar Jar Binks, Misa. I don't even know.
I've
But
never heard
they look into the monitors, and they film the final scene, and they all go, and he goes, and that's a wrap. Thank you, guys, and they all go.
Yeah, so gutted. Where you watch like when Peter Jackson rapped Elijah Wood on Lord of the Rings, and they're all weeping. He's hugging him. He's just going, "Thank you, my boy. Thank you."
You know when he did The Hobbit? Have we talked about this on the podcast before? In the behind the scenes, where he's like, he walks on and he's like, hello everyone and welcome to the set of The Hobbit. And the first thing you'll notice is I've lost a little bit of weight. But he goes like this. He makes the BTS. It's like every scene he walks through. He's like, this is the scene where the White Orc attacks our fellow hobbits. And, of course, you can see Gandalf's staff down there. And then the first thing you'll notice is I've lost a bit of weight. Every fucking scene. He's just like, the first thing you'll notice. Hello, everyone. Mr. Jackson, you're able to go and see your wife. She's on life support, so you can go and see some final words. Hello, darling. First thing you'll notice is I've lost a bit of weight. Oh, look at this, darling. You've got lots of wires sticking in and out of you, but I've lost a little bit of weight. A little bit of weight. Speaking of losing weight, I watched a TikTok the other day about Gen Z are apparently aging quicker than millennials, and I haven't really noticed this, to be fair. The only thing I've ever... Right, I haven't really noticed this. All I've ever said is Gen Z are all fucking tall as shit. Like, I'm not tall by any means.
Like gaunt.
Okay.
Like almost got like this yellowish hue. I don't know if it's been in the tube.
Yellowish hue.
No, bluish hue.
Hips thrusting down on Donna.
Can you do that, please? That's my favourite on that. Come on.
How are we doing this?
I don't know.
Hips thrusting down on Donna. But carry on. There's no getting away from the yellow, sallowish hue.
Feel it down in my plums.
My 2-for-1 in farmer's market.
Dribbling down my chin.
It's always the same people on my Instagram will share some like roided up bald man who's like, you, and it'll be like the most stupid information ever, right? Because it'll be like, if I got a buddy and he tells me tomorrow, hey, I got an idea for a business, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I say to him, I don't want to fucking hear it. I don't want to fucking hear it. And you want to know why? Because I want to see you do it. It's like, well, why don't you just be a man and respect the fact he's gone, I'm going to do this. Yeah. Good on you, man. Yeah. Good on you. Like, what draconian, archaic shit is that? Oh, I don't want to hear about it until you've done it. Yeah. It's like...
All right, I'll speak to you in 10 years.
Okay, then.
Believe in me now. Yeah.
Fuck me, yeah. Just like, get behind me. And I don't see any of that advice. When you were asleep in your bed, you were playing Call of Duty, I was making moves. I was like, what moves are you making? Yeah. Fucking drop shipping. Yeah. Good for you, good hustle. But don't come out here with this fucking, this absolute alpha, just stinking of testosterone. Gotta let you know. And look, if that's the group and that those kind of men love each other for that, then good for them. But I find there's something so toxic about it, man. Yeah. It's like I don't think there's anything more masculine than telling your mates or girl, guy, or person, get good for you. Come on, I believe in you. Yeah. And then when they make a, they trip up and perhaps they want to get to where they want to be, but they've been out on the piss all the time, then maybe take them aside. But there's no...
You've got dreams. You've got dreams.
It's basic psychology is that if you want to do something, or there's something you want to achieve, or there's something good you think you're doing, like the best thing you can do is validate someone for it, because they're like, oh, this is good, my behavior's good, and then expectations. Then you get validated, and you go, oh, I'm going to keep repeating this behavior because I'll get this positive response. You don't go, boys, I'm going to knuckle down. I'm going to quit my job, and I'm going to make I'm going to make $1 million in the next 10 years. And your mates go, I don't want to fucking hear you talking about it, bro. Yeah. I want to hear you talking about it. I want to see you getting out there and doing it. Don't fucking talk to me about that. It's like, oh my God, man.
Then imagine that was the same advice you gave to someone like Jeffrey Dahmer. Hey guys, I've got this idea. I don't want to hear it.
Well, you told me to dissect it, so I partied hardy, took a couple of photos. Party hardy, you said don't talk about it, and I was really worried, and then you said dissect it, so I dissect these men.
No. I like dissect, like, the basic, the structure. We're on the stock market, man. We're going for gold.
Party hardy.
What have you done?
Take a couple of photos and saw the homosexual men that I chopped up. Chop it up.
You're saying you chopped up?
We had a couple of Jack and Colas and chopped them up.
Were they bad men? Are you?
They're in a vat of acid. I got sent this, and I don't really know what we're supposed to. Someone messaged me and said, "Can we talk about this, please?" It was recently at the top of the NSFW section on Reddit. Do you know what NSFW mean? What does it mean?
Naughty, sexy, fuckwad.
And it's captioned. Oh, sorry. The subject is, "Why was my ex-girlfriend so obsessed with my balls?" And this part of the podcast, which is going to be a new part, we can cut this bit out anyway. This part of the podcast will be, I'll read this in a really dramatic voiceover.
Oh, okay.
Should we go for like an English read? Like yes, let's go for that.
Okay.
I feel it. I can feel that. Why was my ex-girlfriend so obsessed with my balls? I'm not gonna lie, it was really fucking weird. She did it most of the time when we watched TV or started cuddling. I have really saggy and soft balls.
Oh, God.
And when we'd watch TV, I'd think she was going to give me a hand job, but she'd just go straight for my balls and start squeezing them and touching them and all this shit. We would watch TV a lot to fall asleep, and sometimes she'd just start sucking my dick out of nowhere.
Obviously, we're not doing this. This is mental.
And then after I came and got soft, she'd just lay there at the end of the bed, putting her mouth all over my balls and rubbing them and all this shit for sometimes over an hour. But I've always wondered why she did that. No judgment, but that shit was really fucking weird and makes me cringe when I think about it. Why? So, why do you think this girl is obsessed with his balls? What did he describe them as? I have really saggy and soft balls.
I don't know what to do with this information, to be honest.
It's a bit bizarre to it's not too vulgar, but it's right on. It's on NSFW on Reddit, yeah. But I'm just like, why don't you just keep that shit to yourself?
Yeah, why didn't you?
Yeah.
Why didn't we? Why didn't I?
Why didn't we? Also, have you ever seen Brock Lesnar's daughter? Brock Lesnar's daughter. And I don't want to insult people's appearance, but let's just imagine. Mm-hmm. Brock Lesnar, and then I'll show you a picture of her.
Okay.
I think if Brock Lesnar was a woman,
okay,
I'd like for you to try and...
I'm not
going to say anything after that. I'm going to hand you this phone and I'm not going to say anything.
Okay. Is that real?
That's his daughter.
That is not real.
That is Brock Lesnar's daughter.
It looks like Major Chip Hazard on the left from Small Soldiers.
Great film.
Major Chip Hazard with a wig on the right from Small Soldiers. I don't know if we can see that. We'll get that up on there.
Yeah, a lot of this is going to have to go, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't wait.
When people ask what is the theme of our podcast, which I'm going to sit back and let you answer that before we wrap up this show. Wow, Jimmy, pull that up. What is the theme of that show? What is that? Wow.
Thanks, Joe. I don't know how he speaks. Whatever his name was.
The equipment's getting very good, but I have to say, and I will say this quite frankly before we close off the show, your podcast is very bad, and quite frankly, the ratings are not very good because, as the kids say, you've fallen off. You've fallen off pretty bad. You've fallen off so bad. And you know who else has fallen off? Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe Biden. You should get him on your podcast because he would probably be as interesting as the pair of you guys.
It's a very, very weird and a very unique scenario there where I don't think anyone in the history of podcasts has done an impression of someone else, a despised, leader of men at one point, having a go at their own podcast in the third person on the podcast.
Well, maybe we should have just called the podcast Breaking the Fourth Wall.
That's good.
It's good, that, isn't it? What is our theme? If you've ever watched Between Two Ferns.
I think it's two dudes, two straight dudes, two cool dudes, two hot dudes.
I think it's something super original, like two white guys given mics.
Yeah, with like
beards, like
football caps.
I don't think there's enough men making podcasts right now, is there?
Just talking about anything they want, and people have to listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to listen to it, actually.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got enough. We've got that many followers that we pipe it in. We make them obviously not turn away. But yeah, there needs to be more, young white dudes talking about absolutely. We didn't mention anything about politics, current, events, war, anything like that. We chatted mainly about an old man's saggy testicles.
And they were very shaggy, quite frankly.
It was from Ivana Trump.
Quite frankly, very shaggy. And you know what? It was actually Ivanka. Wait, Ivanka's his daughter, isn't it?
Brock Lesnar.
Who's his wife? Ivanka.
I thought it was
Ivanka.
Is it?
Ivanka.
We don't even know that. We're fucking stupid.
And she wrote a very, very tremendous article, and some say it's fake news.
She can write.
About my saggy balls. She's a very intelligent woman, yes.
So that's what I'd probably say the theme of the podcast is, yeah. Some of it might be funny. Your impressions, I think, are just about stitching this together, and me being generally appalled by most things.
Yeah, I do think we had quite an interesting podcast today, though. We had a lot to talk about because we hid from each other. We're off to Amsterdam on Saturday.
Fuck's sake, I'm not going to survive that, I know. Need to get me back in one piece. Like Jeffrey Dahmer didn't.
I Love Neighbour podcast, episode 9.